Hey guys, it's Victoria. Welcome back to FemmeHead. Today we're going to continue the conversation about working to find myself a postpartum period product. And today we're going to talk about the Ziggy Cup 2 from Intimina, and these are them right here. So I'm going to talk you through some of the things I discovered this past period, as well as my experience and overall thoughts on the Ziggy Cup 2. So the first thing I recommend before choosing a cup, disc, whatever it may be, is to take the time to find your cervix and see whereabouts it's hanging out, whether you have a low set cervix or a high set cervix, because this will impact the cup or disc that you want to purchase. With a disc shaped product like this, how it sits in you is the back of it scoops up and kind of behind your cervix, so your cervix like sits right here, and then this front part pushes up behind your pubic bone, and that's just how it sits inside of you. So making sure that your cervix is here and not like pushed up right here, if that makes sense. The other thing that I've gotten better at over the past few cycles of using disc-shaped period products is making sure I push the front of this up and behind my pubic bone. It's not anything crazy. When you hear up behind your pubic bone, it sounds crazy, but just making sure you're getting it into that position. First step is getting the cervix in there, and second step is getting it up behind your pubic bone. When I first started using these, I would just kind of like, yeah, just push it in there, but it's like, no, you gotta push it in there. If you have been following along, you already know this, but if you're new, I have been having a lot of pelvic floor issues since having my two little boys. Lincoln is 1 and Theo is 2.5, and I've just been having some pelvic floor issues since having Theo, my first, that were probably just aggravated and made worse by having a second baby. So I have had a lot of issues with finding a postpartum period product, just with leaking, spotting, and just nothing quite sitting in place and staying in place with my weak pelvic floor. I've gone to physical therapy to focus on my pelvic floor, and that's helped a lot. And so I just continue to do those exercises and work on my pelvic floor to heal and strengthen and all that good stuff. So just take that into consideration when I'm talking about everything today, that I don't have the normal run-of-the-mill pelvic floor right now. It's under some construction, but that takes me into my next point. I have found that any sort of like squatting movement, bending over and picking something up, like whether it's a laundry basket or a kid or whatever it may be, like that sort of motion, that squatting motion, can kind of move the front of it out of place. The same goes with going to the bathroom. Even if it's just peeing, I have to take the time to just reach in there and push the front of it back into place. And so it might just be that I have an overactive pelvic floor / weak pelvic floor right now. The next thing that I tried out this past period was inserting it in different positions. I have always inserted tampons, cups, discs, just standing up. I know people insert them squatting, sitting over the toilet, whatever it may be. So trying out different positions. I tried just inserting it over the toilet because I figured like that position of my body sitting could help the like direction it needed to be going while inserting it. So I would just kind of like lean to one side and get it in there that way. And the final thing is auto dumping before you remove it. This one's really easy to remove, which I'll get into. I have found that with discs, they're the messiest for me to remove. Taking the time, go to the bathroom, auto dump it, and then remove it. It's less messy getting it out after that. So that's a very helpful tip, is to auto dump before you remove it. Okay, this past cycle, on day 1, I tried out both sizes of the Ziggy Cup 2. Pretty much knew that the larger size was going to be too big based on past experience with a similar size menstrual disc. So I was like, okay, yeah, this little light pink one is going to be my jam. On the second day of my period, I actually switched to a different brand of menstrual disc, give it a bit of a comparison. And that was good because I was having some issues with like leaking and spotting. Even with the other discs, I was having the same exact issues. So it was just reassurance that it was my pelvic floor. On day 2 is when I started trying to insert it while sitting down, and that seemed to work out really well. My favorite place to insert cups or discs is in the shower. It's just so easy, so mess-free. So if you're taking a shower, that's the place to do it. Day 3 of my period is when I went on the hunt for my cervix. I didn't know for sure if I was getting my cervix in the right position in here, and I inserted my disc right after that. And I feel like that was one of the best like positionings I got, was that time inserting it in the shower. Day 4 of my period, I just said that it seemed to be sitting in there very well from my shower the night before. Day 5 of my period, it was just kind of the tail end spotting. So I just put it in once in the morning, switched out that night, and then took it out for good the following morning. So cycle day 6. I felt like I had the best success the last couple days of my period rather than the first couple, when it was just flow was really heavy, I was really achy, my pelvic floor was doing crazy things. So I found that this worked really well for the lighter days. Overall thoughts, I really like the material of these thin silicone material. It's just really comfortable. The rims are firm enough to make inserting it really easy and removing it really easy comfortably without being too rigid to where it's going to cause any discomfort. My favorite part of the Ziggy Cup 2 though is these little ridges right here on the front. So you can see they're kind of an oval shape rather than a perfect circle, but there's these little ridges at the front. One issue I was having with the other discs I was using was removing it. It's messy, there's a learning curve, and I was just having a lot of issues. With the other ones, I couldn't get my finger right here because you want to like get right here and pull it out this way, but you want to keep it as level as possible to keep, you know, everything in there. But I could not get a good grip on the other ones, and so I would have to go up from the top and pull down like this to get a grip. And obviously that just like dumps it. These little ridges, there's just 3 of them. It just provides enough grip to really get in there and pull it out. Overall, I enjoyed the Ziggy Cup 2. I hope my pelvic floor gets back to a place where I can just wear cups and discs without a care in the world like I used to. But for the time being, I have a feeling I'm gonna keep this one in rotation for my lighter days because it just works so well. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. Thank you again to Intimina for sponsoring today's video and sending me the Ziggy Cup 2. I will have all the links down below if you want to try out Ziggy Cup 2 for yourself. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!